It was a typical morning at Sigachi Industries plant in Pashamylaram. This place is about 50 kilometers from Hyderabad. Over 100 workers, many of them migrant laborers, were working. They were from states like Bihar and Odisha. They were all producing microcrystalline cellulose, or MCC, a highly inflammable powder. This is used in pharmaceuticals. At 9:20 a.m., a deafening blast tore through the factory. The ground shook like an earthquake. Many workers were thrown into the air and then into the fire. The devastation was everywhere. The whole premises was littered with bodies. The explosion was caused by a malfunction in a spray dryer, a machine that turns MCC slurry into powder. Experts say a pressure buildup, possibly reaching 700 centigrade to 800 centigrade, triggered a massive blast, a massive dust explosion, a deadly phenomenon where fine chemical particles ignite in the air. The blast was so powerful, it was heard 5 kilometers away. It shattered windows, it damaged nearby factories. By the time rescue teams arrived, the factory was reduced to a smoldering ruin. The national disaster teams, the fire services plunged into action, but they faced hazardous conditions. Their efforts were slowed down by the metallic flames and chemical residues. The Sigachi explosion has left behind a trail of heartbreak. Most victims were migrant workers. They were the sole breadwinners of their families. They were the backbone of their families. Rajanala Venkat was one among them. The 55-year-old quality control worker had served Sigachi for 20 years. Now he is gone. His family is left with nothing. The factory workers had been complaining about the status of the machines for quite some time. It was said that they were old enough, they were dangerous, but no one has bothered. No one has listened. Many bodies were charred beyond recognition. It forced authorities to use DNA testing for identification. Many workers are still fighting for their lives in hospitals. They had severe burns and critical injuries to heal. The government has promised to cover medical costs, but for the victims' families, the loss is irreparable. 8 workers were still missing. They were suspected to have been vaporized at 700 centigrade. The tragedy is not just numbers, it is about real people, fathers, brothers, cousins, and sons. Their lives were cut short. This is all by preventable tragedy. It is caused by negligence, sheer negligence. Finally, the question is, how did this happen? This question has been querying the minds of many. Investigations reveal a shocking trail of safety violations. The Sigachi plant was operating without a valid NOC, no objection certificate from the Fire Services Department. This is a critical requirement under Telangana law. Fire safety equipment was minimal. A few outdated extinguishers, no alarms, no heat sensors, and no automatic shutdown systems. The spray dryer itself was a major issue. It was a ticking time bomb waiting for its time. Poor maintenance and ignored warnings about pressure buildup created a recipe for a disaster. This was not the first red flag. In 2019, a fire at the same plant caused significant damage, yet no major safety upgrades took place. The Pashamylaram Industrial Hub is home to over 60 high-risk units. It has seen 23 fire incidents since 2018. It has many warnings from multiple agencies. But why were these warnings ignored? India's industrial sector has a grim track record. Government data shows over 1100 workers die each year in factory accidents. The Sigachi explosion is a stark reminder of what happens when safety takes a backseat to profit. In the aftermath of the incident, the state government has formed a committee and ordered an investigation into the incident. It has ordered a statewide review of chemical plants. Chief Minister Revanth Reddy visited the plant. He interacted with the workers. He interacted with the victims' families. He assured justice to all of them. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a compensation for the victims' families. The factory management itself came forward. Sigachi Industries has promised a compensation of 1 crore each to the families of the deceased. It also assured full medical support for the injured. But its stocks have plummeted by 23%. A culpable homicide case has been filed against the management. Will this all lead to a real change, or it is yet another case of too little, too late? The Sigachi Inferno is more than a tragedy. It is a wake-up call. As India pushes to become a global industrial powerhouse, the cost of cutting corners is measured in human lives. Now there is a demand for strict implementation of the safety laws and corporate accountability. Share this video to spread awareness and let us know in the comments, how can we prevent yet another Sigachi disaster? How can we prevent more such tragic deaths? Thank you for watching.